Hello, back with some TCGO. This time I got two games for you guys using the Mewtwo Gardevoir deck. As of this moment, nothing is still fixed. I just got done playing against a guy who was using triple Eviolite with Durant, and that got really annoying really quick. Just last night, I believe as well, I played against a guy who was using 4 Eviolites in play, and if you're not familiar with what Eviolite does at the moment, it reduces 20 for every Eviolite in play as opposed to just 20 per Pokemon, so it's pretty stupid. But for now, I have two games against, one of them's against a guy by the name of Professor Strawberry, the next one's going to be against a guy by the name of Quarter Turn, and that's all I really feel the need to talk about right now. As you can see, I do go first. I get the basics that I really want to in play. One Mew to be able to see off, one Ralts to be able to set it up as soon as possible, and then a Cleffa to come in to force out my hand immediately after everything else dies. Looking at it, after I see off one Mewtwo, as of this moment, I finally have 4 Mewtwo's in this deck, but if you only saw 2 in there, I saw off one of them. That means the other 2 are in my prizes, which is kind of good and bad. It means I have other cards that I actually do want in my deck, as opposed to, you know, I can kind of do without Mewtwo's for now. But as it is right now, all I have is a Cleffa and a Ralts. I'm going to put the energy on Ralts just in case it gets captured out for whatever reason. Or, you know, if I end up waking up, that would pretty much suck. Right now, looking at it, kind of cool. I get a Pokemon Collector, which is what I'm going to plan on using for the time being. Get to use that to get myself a Mew. For now, this stupid Cleffa is still asleep. Good and bad, I suppose. But 3 Mews, don't really want to get the Mewtwo into play, I guess, just because I don't want to give him more prizes than he really needs. With Mew versus Mewtwo, if one thing gets energies, then, you know, it's basically just, it's a one-shot fest. You know, whoever attacks on their respective turn is the one that's good to go. As you can see, he has 2 double colorless on him. If my Cleffa were awake, then I would definitely be able to put a double colorless on my Mew and knock him out, because 6 energies in play would equal 120 damage. Times 2 would be 240. Mewtwo only has 170. Even with the Eviolite, it would still only bring it down by 20, so it would do 220 damage. As you can see right now, he's got a fuck ton of bulky things in his deck in terms of, like, you know, EXs and shit. I see a Mewtwo and I see a Regigigas. I'm not really too scared of the Mewtwo because I know the instant my Cleffa wakes up, I can switch it out and then take it out. So, there we go. You know, what do I got going on? I believe I just decide to level ball for a Mew, and then I can just P-com out one of them for a Gardevoir. So, I got the Gardevoir up pretty damn quick in this game, if you ask me. Just gonna P-com that out, get the Gardevoir, as I mentioned. I have both of them, which is nice. Every now and then I'll decide to set up 2 at the same time, just in case somebody tries to catcher out one of them. Then it makes them use their catcher on that as opposed to anything else. But put down the Mew, put down the DCE. That one is ready to go on X-balling. The other one is as well, thanks to Gardevoir's Poke Power. And I'm going to go ahead and go for a level ball and then get my other Mew as well. I believe he knocked out the 4th one, so if I'm able to Oak out next turn and get a revive going, I don't remember, even though I just took this match like 20 minutes ago. Great. Awesome. I X-ball right now, as I mentioned, it does 220. Takes out that big threat and gets me 2 prizes, so I'm already in the lead. Bad because I actually end up getting twins, and I don't know what I'm going to do about this Regigigas. This thing needs to get some more energies on it, and I need to get some more energies on me as well, so I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. It looks like he's just running Regigigas with Psychic Energy, and then he's running Mewtwo as well, but I'm going to chalk this thing up with double colorless just because if he has Lost Removers, he'll target that over anything else. And also just because, you know, Psychics and double colorlesses are the same right now anyway, so why the fuck not? Anyways, decide to eke out. Might as well just leave Cleffa in there. If he wants to kill it off, then he can. I don't really care. If he has catchers too and he wants to try attacking something, I believe the only thing he can take out is are the Mews. The Mews and the Cleffa. The Gardevoir is not in danger just yet. I don't really feel like sending in Mewtwo either until that Regigigas has some damage on it anyways. There was something that he did in, like, the next couple turns. I forget what it is. It might be this next one. But Regigigas has the attack where if you do 60 damage, and then you can do 20 more, but if you do 20 damage to yourself. And I think he just does that to power up his secondary attack, which is 50, plus 10 more for every damage counter you have on you. So he does 80, and then he does 20 to himself right now, which is like, oh, this is getting interesting, I suppose. for now, I'm going to go ahead and put another energy down on that Mew. I'm doing the mental math that there are 7 energies in, the center, and I would actually need 1 more energy in order to do the extra 20 needed to take him out. So I'm going to leave that Mew in the back row, and then just kind of hope I can get this thing going, I guess. For now, Cleffa, going to come back in. If he has another catcher, if he kept doing this catcher thing, it would get really annoying really quickly, but my Cleffa wakes up anyway. Seeing as how I keep forcing out my hand, it might lead him to think that that's the target to be going for, but he shuffles out my hand anyway. I wasn't really the biggest fan of that hand, but it's okay, because right now he gives me a Twins, and I also have Revive, so I can use that to get one of my Mews back, and I can use Twins to get 2 of whatever the fuck I want from my deck, thanks to him getting that kill. So all I know right now is I now have 6 energies on Mew, and then there are 3 on him, leading for 9, and 9 times 2 being 18 at a 0. That's 180. That is enough to take out a Regigigas in just basically one fell swoop. So I believe I'm going to get a Revive and a Professor Oak. Revive just to have that 4th Mew on the field, just because I can, and then Professor Oak to force out my hand next turn. But X-Ball, gonna take him out clean. And then I believe that Regigigas on the bench is also just not powered up whatsoever. So this thing's a sitting duck as soon as I can get enough energy going on it. He's also putting down like Mewtwo's and shit, and he decides to switch out to this one, and I'm like, I'm going to kill this thing. I'm going to kill this thing in one fucking shot. Just you watch. Now 4 energy becomes 8, and that means I can do 160, but since Mewtwo happens to be weak to it, it'll actually end up doing 320, so I think he just kind of recognized that he was fucked at that point and switched it in just to give me the overkill, so nice of him. That was pretty cool. And it turns out that I got the game by only killing off 3 EXs, and that's why I decided to plug this one in front. It was a little bit more interesting in that aspect. Very quick one. This next one is not really so quick, but it's played very, very quickly, as you'll see in a little bit. But I'm up against a guy by the name of Quarter Turn. I've played him a couple times. Very, very, very good guy. And he's actually going to be using I believe, a Floatzel Kyurem deck. And what Floatzel does is it accelerates water energy onto the field, and you can put Shaman down to put the energy onto Kyurem. Now, my deck doesn't like Kyurem, in case you haven't noticed. A lot of low HP basic Pokemon, and, EXs and stuff, basically everything else. It operates on how quick it is, so Hay Fever doesn't really like Kyurem and that kind of thing, and then, yeah, you can kind of see where this is going. But I get a Mew. I don't have any energy, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and get Cleffa, Ralts, and another Mew. Despite seeing the Kyurem, I probably could have, just not gotten another Mew, but I went ahead and put it down anyway for some stupid reason. I do want the Ralts down for sure. I need to get my energy, doubled before he can get his energy into play. So, now that I have my 2 Mews, my Ralts, and my Cleffa, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle out. I do have a Psychic Energy, but I'm not going to be using the Mews in this game, unlike the last game where I only used the Mew just because it was quicker. I can't use them because they'll get knocked out by 2 Glaciates each one. I also need to get this Ralts evolved as soon as possible. Otherwise he'll knock it out, and then I don't have any doubling means. But he gets both of his Buizels into play, and then he just kind of catches out my Ralts just to stall for a little bit of time as well. I was kind of like, maybe I can oak out and come into a switch, but I was like, heart of the cards this early in the game, this shit never works. It never works. But I believe he oaked out, and then he eked out, and he's still asleep, and then just things and reasons. So what I could have done is put down another Ralts, but that kind of would have just led for more glaciating kind of thing. So I was like, we'll just put down a Psychic Energy, and we'll just kind of go with that. For now, do get the Mewtwo I kind of wanted to come into, and then I also have my Kirlia. Thinking about what else to do. All I can do is retreat and then eke out and hope I can get a Gardevoir before the Kyurem starts glaciating. Otherwise, it's going to be game over. Let's see. Kyurem, Revive, Psychics. Kirlia. Kirlia, Revive, Catcher, 2 Psychic Energies, Twins. So if he does get it right now, I can use Twins to get myself the Gardevoir. I'm just curious as to how that's going to end up playing out, even though I think this is the last game I ended up taking. He puts down another Kyurem. Now, that thing is catcher bait because it doesn't have any energies on it whatsoever. What I don't know at this point is that he actually is running Shaman, but we will see it in the next couple turns. And what that'll let him do is it'll let him move the water energy from the bench Kyurem to the active Kyurem, so I'm not really as safe as I thought as I would, as safe as I thought I would be. But I just couldn't put the EXP share on Mewtwo. I believe that thing is still glitched as well. I even zoom in on the description to show you guys that I'm using it right, and it's just not working, period. But Catcher in the Kyurem, and then just going to go ahead and eke out. I want to get some energy onto Mewtwo, and I also want to get Gardevoir or a Pecom and a Pokemon, or Gardevoir. I get Pecom and Gardevoir, which is kind of a mix of the things I wanted, but whatever, works for me. Pokemon Collector, don't really know what it's going to pull at this point. Turns out he just wants the one thing, which is like, just get 3. Always get 3, just to, you know, fucking thin out your deck so you can draw into things that you actually need. But you know, I'm not one to question him what to do. I don't know. I just found that kind of weird that he only got the one Shaman, but okay. Glaciate takes out my Cleffa, and then I'm able to put the Mewtwo into play, and then this means that I have 4 energy on me after Gardevoir, and then he's got 3 on him. You know, basic math, 7 times 2, 14. He's only got 130 HP, so I'm able to take down the Kyurem right on the spot. Also have a Catcher and a Junk Arm, so if he keeps trying to do this this Cleffa shenanigans where he kind of stays and ekes out and hopes he stays asleep, I can stop it for 2 turns. And, you know, the only real amount of damage he'll be able to do to me is with Kyurem's Outrage, and I intend on not attacking it until I'm within, like, OHKO range. Otherwise, that'll end pretty badly for me. The other thing he could do is attack me with the Floatzels, but for now, as you can see, he puts down 1 on Floatzel, 1 on Floatzel, 1 on Kyurem, just because the Poker Power lets him do that. And he also wakes up. But what I want to do is I want to get rid of his energy accelerators next. You know, going to take out one of these Floatzels, and X-Ball is going to do 140 damage, which means at this point, if he even puts 1 energy down on Kyurem, it'll die. And I also have 2 more Psychic Energies in my hand as well, which means, you know, that things will be dying at that point. I'm at 120 base damage for X-Ball, and then it'll go to 160 and then 180. It's just 40 per energy, and it's very nice. I'm trying to see if he's going to Junk Arm out 4. If he wants to Junk Arm out for a Catcher to bring out Gardevoir, that's fine. I have enough energy on Mewtwo anyway. The thing I'm still really worried about if he does manage to set up one of those Kyurems, you know, from under my feet. And, you know, I left him a bench space as well. So if he has another Shaman, he can put it down and move the energies again and then take out my Muse. And those are 2 very easy prizes for him, since all he has to do is attack once. That's probably the main thing I'm scared about. Other than that, I'm sitting pretty. And I'm looking at his wins right now. I'm like, fuck, that's a lot. I probably should have been a little more scared. I could have sworn the guy had less the last time I played him. It was, ugh, fuck. Okay. Gonna go ahead and Sharon just to get more cards into my hand, and then from there I can decide what I want to Junk Arm out for. For now, I believe I Pecom out for another Mewtwo, just in case something does end up happening to the first one for whatever reason, but I don't put it down. Gonna go ahead and Level Ball and, you know, Junk Arm out the Level Ball and the Psychic Energy for a Catcher, and then because I don't have anything in this hand, I can just Oak out next turn and then get myself something else. For now, bringing in the Buizel, knocking it out, and I don't think he has access to any more Floatzels or Buizels after this point. Maybe he only runs 2. Maybe that's kind of the thing he'd want to go about doing. But Clef is going to come in. You guys know this drill again, but Pokemon Collector, I believe, is going to try to find something, and it doesn't get him anything because maybe he doesn't have anything, or maybe he just didn't want anything. I don't know. Whatever the case, he's bringing in Kyurem now. Going to go ahead and Glaciate, take out 2 things, which are both of my Muse, as I talked about earlier. And now the score is tied. But it's kind of at the point where I got 6 energies on me, soon to have, I think I just put 1 Psychic Energy on that thing, just so I am able to have another one going. As you can see, my X-Ball is doing 180 as well. And then I also draw into another Junk Arm as well. So if Cleffa wants to keep doing this shit, I can Junk Arm out probably Ralts and Oak, and then bring in the other Kyurem. And Mewtwo is just on a fucking rampage in this game, as you can tell. And I believe he scoops in the next couple of seconds. I don't remember. Yeah, he does. Okay, so that was the game. That was both of the games, actually. Funny thing is, I'm probably just going to end up recording a game with the deck that I upload. So today I uploaded the Mewtwo deck earlier this morning, and I figure I'll just go ahead and play some more games with the Mewtwo deck, and then that's how it'll work from now on. So probably looking at building a new one sometime soon. Hopefully we'll have that going by next week, I want to say. And we'll see how that happens. So for now, I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.